So those who missed, at least watch tomorrow, Sunday. We'll have enough net with you. And take down the notes and all that. I discussed basically about inverse function and the different properties related to that. And we found inverse function for few functions also. Since sometimes when two answers comes, how to decide among them which one is actually the proper inverse function also. Okay, one question I gave yesterday, I think the fourth one. F of x is equal to integer part of x plus square root of fractional part of x. The graph of this is quite interesting. I'll show you a little later. But anybody got any answer for this? What is the inverse function? Okay, inverse function finding is somewhat easy. Normally, you take equal to y, try to find x in terms of y. But here, taking equal to y is very easy. But after that, how to find x in terms of y is not that clear. But before writing that, I'll give you some idea. If I take f of 7.64, not 7 point, yeah. Anybody want to tell what will come?
7.8.
7.8, yes. Because integer part of that is 7 and this is root over 0.64, which is 7 plus 0.8, which is 7.8. Okay. What is f of 10.04?
10.2.
10.2.
Part of x is 10 and this is root 0.4, which is 10 point. But let me ask in reverse. F of x is equal to 7 for, let us say, 5.3. Let us see, somebody can tell what is x.
Sir, 5.09.
5.09.
5.09. It should be 0.9. Why? Because integer part of x plus square root of fractional part of x is 5.3. And you can one thing for sure say, this will be between 0 to 1. Fractional part of x is between 0 to 1. Square root of that is also between 0 to 1. This is some integer. So how to write 5.3 as some integer plus some decimal is 5 plus 0.3. So when you equate, integer part of x is 5. Square root of fractional part of x is 0.3. When you square it, fractional part of x is 0.3 whole square, which is 0.09. And now coming to x, x is nothing but integer part of x plus fractional part of x. If you take its integer part, in fact, fractional part of x definition is x minus integer part of x, by the way. So this will be 5 and this will be 0.09. So it is 5.09. So when I take this answer, let's say I'll tell f of x is equal to 9.4. Anybody want to tell what is x?
9.0.
9.02. Yes, sir. 9.0.
9.02 or 9.16?
9.16, sir.
9.16, sir.
I am not asking f of 9.4. F of 9.4 is, even then root 0.4 is a little difficult to find. But this is f of x is 9.4. I'm asking, so it is actually 9.16. Right. Okay. Okay. So I gave one example here, so that you'll get a clarity. Now let me see if f of x equal to y. Anybody want to tell what is x will be in terms of y?
Greatest integer part of x plus
X should be in terms of y. Answer should be in terms of y.
The greatest integer of x plus, greatest integer of y plus fractional part of y square.
Yes. Correct. Integer part of y plus fractional part of y whole square. Let us see how to do that. F of x is x plus integer part of, sorry. F of x is integer part of x plus square root of fractional part of x. Y, I will write it as integer part of y plus fractional part of y. I can equate these two and these two. So integer part of x is equal to integer part of y. And square root of fractional part of x is fractional part of y. If you square it, fractional part of y will come fractional part of y square. Okay, now f of, we want to find x as f inverse y, correct? So f inverse y, which is equal to x, which is equal to integer part of x plus fractional part of x. And integer part of x is same as integer part of y, but fractional part of x is fractional part of y square. Okay, so that's it. That's the answer. We got f inverse y is this. So based on that, f inverse x is integer part of x plus fractional part of x square. If any doubt, f of 7.64 should come 7.8 means f inverse 7.8 should come 7.64. You can check in that if you want. Well, f of 10.4 is 10.2 means when you substitute f inverse 10.2 should be 10.04. Substitute 10.2 here, see whether you are getting better or not. Or similarly, you can check for this. Okay. So even though in the beginning somebody did not get the idea, but after doing these examples, I'm sure now you got a clarity how to find it.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
so
sir.
The answer is,
Okay.
yeah. Okay. So after completing this, I want you to draw the graphs of following things. Y is equal to fractional part of x, y equal to square root of fractional part of x, y equal to integer part of x plus square root of fractional part of x. These three graphs separately try to draw. Those are there in the yesterday's evening class. I hope you understood this solution fully.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm going to erase this whole thing. Okay, we all know fractional part of x graph, it starts with 0 and reaches up to 1, but never becomes 1. Again starts with 0, becomes 1. Okay, this is a graph of fractional part of x. At 0, it's 0, at 0.1, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, up to almost up to 1. At 1 again it is 0, at 1.1, 0.1, at 1.2, 0.2, at 1.3, 0.3, at 1.999, 0.99. Again at 2 it will be 0, at 2.01 it will be 0.01, 2.2, 0.2, like that. Okay, anybody want to tell how the graph of square root of fractional part of x will be? This is this one. So of course you should know what is the graph of root x alone. If you take y equal to root x alone, this is the graph.
Sir, can I show?
Yes. Just unmute and show. So that will be visible. Yes, correct. I can see it. Correct. Yeah, it will be like this. One, two, three. Same this graph only, but this part is a straight line and root x is a curve. Actually, whatever graph it has between 0 to 1, take that piece repeatedly, same thing, because it's a periodic function. This is a periodic function period 1, so this is also periodic function period 1. Between 0 to 1, root x graph, same like this piece. Between 1 to 2, again same thing. Between 2 to 3, again same thing. Between 3 to 4, again same. Okay, so this is a graph of root x. Root fractional part of x. So, any doubt?
In negatives also you draw some.
Yes. X may be negative, but fractional part of x is always positive. Here also,
Yes.
fractional part of x is never negative, right? So we also have graph like this. Okay. Now let us see what is the graph of integer part of x plus square root of fractional part of x. So I have to take this graph and add integer part of x to this. Okay. Let us compare these two graphs, this and this. Between 0 to 1, there is no difference between this graph and this graph. Why?
Because integer part of x is 0.
Because this is 0, these two are same. So between 0 to 1, it is same graph. This piece only as it is. Okay. Between 1 to 2, only root fractional part of x is this. But now I add how much? Between 1 to 2, what is the value of integer part of x? 1.
1.
So for this piece, I have to add 1, means I have to move upward by 1 unit. When you move this upward by 1 unit, this point will come right here, exactly. So this piece will join here. It will be like this. You have to move this one exactly upward by 1 unit. Next, between 2 to 3. Between 2 to 3, integer part of x value is 2. So I have to take root fractional part of x part and move upward by 2 units. So when I select this and move upward by 2 units, it will come exactly here because this height is 2 units. So it will come like this. Then so. Even the down also it will come, because I have to decrease this by 1 unit, it will come down and perfectly join here by 1 unit. Minus 1. Minus 1 means coming down by 1 unit. So if you actually see the little, it will be like this. Okay. And it is a bisection. No gap anywhere. And okay, there's no gap anywhere. There's no sudden jumps anywhere. Okay. Sudden turn can be there, but this. Any horizontal line will intersect only once. Okay. So actually this graph, it is both 1, 1 and on 2. All real numbers is the domain. There's no, you cannot think of two different x values which have same image. It can't be that. And range covers all real numbers. So it is both 1, 1 and on 2. And quite interestingly, what happens is, if you take y equal to x line, this present graph is actually like this. this dotted line, okay, is that graph, because this is 1, 1, this is 2, 2, this is 3, 3, they're all on that line. If you know this function, how will you find out inverse function?
Reflect on y.
About y equals to x
Okay.
squared.
When you find reflective, the inverse function will be like this. You know what is that? That is actually y equal to integer part of x plus fractional part of x whole square. And what is this? Y equal to integer part of x plus square root of fractional part of x. If separately you want to draw this graph, fractional part of x whole square, instead of like this, it will be like this. If you take only fractional part of x whole square, y equal to fractional part of x whole square, it will be like this. Okay, like x square graph, x square is a parabola. In that, a small piece between 0 to 1, that will come. And for that, if you want to add integer part, this you have to move upward by 1 unit. This you have to move upward by 2 units. This you have to move upward by 3 units. This you have to move downward by 1 unit. Then you would have got all these things. So all the upper ones are original function, all the down ones are inverse function. Okay. So the reason, of course, the graph doesn't tell you the answer about inverse function. I'm just telling a graphical picture so that at least you will know that it is a bisection and it is both 1 and onto, and how inverse function coming by image and what is that inverse function. Later on, we'll study in limits and continuity and differentiability, many topics also this will come, so that we'll have a better clarity. Okay, is everybody clear finally about this graph? Y equal to integer part of x plus square root of fractional part of x?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Okay, now in the mains material, whatever related questions are there about inverse function, we will do them, at least odd numbers. Okay, 102. Sorry, we're discussing odd numbers, right? So 101. One way, so we are jumping from some number because up to 43 I discussed in the class. 45 onwards, domain and range questions we already completed them, and now inverse function starts with 101. So 102 is a very simple question. They gave f is a function from a to b. It's a bisection. So f inverse is a function from b to a. Based on this, we know f circle f inverse will be from, what is the domain of f inverse? B. And the codomain of this is, I even told that this is a, this is b, this is a, this is f, and this is f inverse. And from here to here, function will be f inverse circle f. And if you take b to a, this is f inverse circle f. B to A and A to B, first f inverse, next f, and from here to here it is f circle f inverse. So f circle f inverse is from B to B, and f inverse circle f is a function from A to A. And we also know they are identity functions. I proved how. Let f of x equal to y, then you will get x is equal to f inverse y. If you put that back here, we'll get f of f inverse y is equal to 1. Or put this one there, you will get f inverse of f of x equal to x. So here x is connected to x, it is an identity function. Here also y is connected to y, it is an identity function. So f inverse circle f is also an identity function, but from A to A. F circle F inverse is an identity function from Y, that is B to B. So based on this and also this, F inverse circle F is IA, identity function from A to B. And F circle F inverse is IB, means identity function from B to B. Okay, so I told yesterday all these things just repeated. Okay, in 103, they gave a function, they want inverse to be itself. What should be the alpha value? Okay. F of x is equal to 1 plus alpha x. They want inverse to be itself. F inverse x and f of x should be same. The question is, f inverse x is equal to f of x, which implies what is alpha. Okay. One method is, let us try to find inverse function first of all. Let f of x equal to y, 1 plus alpha x equal to y, x is equal to y minus alpha, that is f inverse y is equal to y minus 1 by alpha. So now let us equate. F inverse x is equal to f of x. F inverse x, which you can write if you want y by alpha minus 1 by alpha. F inverse x will be x by alpha minus 1 by alpha. That should be same as 1 plus alpha x. If we equate x coefficients, we will get 1 by alpha equal to alpha. If we equate constants, minus 1 by alpha equal to 1. All together, you will get alpha equal to minus 1. So when alpha is minus 1, f of x and f inverse x are same. Another method, if f inverse x and f of x are same, you apply f on both sides. Okay, you'll get f of x equal to x. Normally, f of f inverse x is x, but f inverse and f are same. So f of x is x. What is f of x? Within this, I have to substitute. F of 1 plus alpha x equal to x. That I have to put it here. 1 plus alpha times 1 plus alpha x is x. When I expand this, I'll be getting 1 plus alpha square x equal to x. Now when I compare the coefficients here 1 plus alpha is constant and here no constant. And equate x coefficients, I'll get alpha square equal to 1. Together again, I'll get alpha equal to minus 1. Okay, so we can do like this or like this. One or three, basically, they want alpha such a way that f of x and f inverse x are same, both. I'll also tell you from the graph how to get this alpha equal to minus 1, but that is. Those who missed yesterday's evening class, I hope you left enough gap so that you can watch the video again, take all that notes.
Sir?
Today also there will... Yes, please.
So once can you explain the method one second line again, sir?
Oh, second line. They gave that in the question. They said f inverse x and f of x are same. Okay. I found f inverse y is this. So what is f inverse x will be? Wherever y is there, write x. That's how I got this. This is f inverse x. This is f of x. After that, I have to equate x.
From there, how you simplify?
I equated x coefficients. That is this equation. Constants. That is this equation. Because this and this are equal for all x values, not just for one x value. What is the coefficient of x here? 1 by alpha.
Yes.
What is the coefficient of x here? Alpha. That is this equation. What is constant here? Minus 1 by alpha. And what is the constant here? 1. So equal.
Yes, sir, got it. Sir, like I did in a very long method, sir. I got in quadratic in x and like if we find the quadratic equation, I'm getting in terms of alpha, but it's very big, sir.
What this is a quadratic equation in terms of alpha you are treating?
No, sir, in terms of x, but coefficients is alpha.
That's okay, but how x square comes to you? X square doesn't come anywhere, right?
Yes, sir.
Anybody not understood any part of it or the whole thing, please ask, I'll explain.
Sir, down part is not visible, sir.
Not visible?
No, sir.
Okay, now?
Yes, sir. Sir.
Yes, please.
Sir.
Tell.
You equate it to constant, no, sir.
I equated to constant. Equated the constant
Yes,
on both
method.
sides. In method 1,
Yes,
this
sir.
constant and this constant should be same. That is this equation. This x coefficient and this x coefficient should be same. That is this equation. This is giving only alpha equal to -1. But this is giving alpha equal to 1 or -1. But both should happen. This and this. That's why alpha should be -1 only.
Yes.
Anybody else has any doubt regarding method 1 or method 2?
No, sir.
Okay, let us see how to do this from the graph. We can do from the graph just like that without writing anything.
Sir,
Yes, please.
the second step, sir, of method 1. The second line.
Second
Yes,
line,
sir.
they wanted f inverse x and f of x should be same. That is the question they wanted, right?
Yes, sir.
And f inverse x, what is f inverse y is this. So what is f inverse x? X by alpha minus 1 by alpha. So that is this one. So this
Yes,
is f
sir.
inverse x, right? And f of x is they gave this. But they said they should be equal for all values of x. So the x coefficient, x into what is there here? 1 by alpha. Here x into what is there? Alpha. So they should be equal. What is the constant here? Minus 1 by alpha. What is the constant here? 1. So they should be equal.
Yes, sir. Got it.
Same logic we done even in the second method also. Even in second method, when I equate these two, what is the constant here? 1 plus alpha. Here no constant. So that's why 1 plus alpha should be 0. And what is x coefficient here? Alpha square. And what is x coefficient here? 1. That's why alpha square equal to. So both in first method
Yes,
and
sir.
second method, what is that we have done is, you want ax plus b equal to cx plus d for all x belongs to R. Then a should be c and b should be d. That's what I have done.
Yes, sir.
Sir, only one more doubt.
Yes, please.
Sir, like when I simplified x minus 1 equal to alpha plus x alpha square, like I simplified x minus 1 by alpha equals 1 plus alpha x.
X minus 1 by alpha equal to 1 plus alpha x. Correct. This is f inverse x and this is f of x. Okay.
Yes, sir. I got a quadratic in terms of alpha. I got x
But the-
alpha square.
But the point is, this should be true for all x belongs to R. That's what is the important point. When you take x equal to 0 also they should be equal. When you take x equal to 1 also they should be equal. When you take x equal to 2 also they should be equal. When you take x equal to 3 also they should be equal. Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I
So
got
that
the
you have to-
quadratic equation. I got -1 as the answer, sir.
Okay, let us see what is that you got in terms of alpha, one quadratic equation. Alpha square into x. What is that you want to write in?
Plus alpha plus 1 minus x.
Alpha square into x plus alpha is okay, this plus 1 minus x. Okay. After that, what is that you want to do?
Like I got alpha equals and I did the quadratic equation. I got -1 as the answer.
Alpha equal to -1.
Yes, sir.
Where from we'll get alpha equal to -1? Okay, you'll get alpha plus 1 common. Okay, and you'll get into what will come? Alpha square x plus minus x. So we'll get 1 plus alpha minus 1 into x equal to 0. Something like this will come, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. But when you equate this to 0, alpha equal to -1 will come. But what is that you are doing? You should know first of all.
Yes, sir.
Okay. We want this to be 0 for all x values. When you take x equal to 0, x equal to 5, x equal to 7, x equal to 9, every time it should be 0. So this can't be happening that. Because as x changes, your alpha will change. But this is alpha gives a constant. That's why we are accepting. You should know. Right?
Yes, sir. Only that I had.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Without writing much, you can tell this answer just like that. Let us see why. If you take y equal to 1 plus alpha x, what it is a straight line passing through 0, 1. Y-intercept is 1 and slope is alpha. Y equal to mx plus c form, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So I have y equal to x line and I have one point 0, 1. Okay. Through that, as alpha changes, one time it will be a line like this, one time like this, one time like this, so on. If for a particular alpha of my line is this, the inverse function will be like this, right? With respect to y equal to x mirror image.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sure.
Then f of x and f inverse x are different because this is my f of x, this is my f inverse x, they are different. So through this, I should draw a line such a way that that should be f of x, that should be f inverse x also. So tell me through 0, 1, how should I draw a line after finding mirror image with respect to this same line only mirror object and image matches? How should I draw that line?
To y equals to x.
Yeah, just draw a line perpendicular to the mirror. Then the mirror image will be same line only. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir.
So other than the perpendicular line, if I draw any other line, the mirror image will be some other line. Okay. So if you have a mirror, if you want an object and image should match, the only thing is the object should be like this. Right? Of course, if it is a line, if it is torus, I'm sure I can have a circle where this mirror image is this mirror image is this. They can match. Okay. Anything symmetrical about this basically. Okay. So you can understand it is this line. This line slope is 1. Then what is the perpendicular line slope will be?
Minus
-1.
minus
Alpha is -1. That's it. Done. So nothing. Method 3. Okay. From graph, alpha should be -1. Okay. I don't want to give any explanation. Just I told that it should be a line perpendicular to this line. That's it. We can easily visualize and see it, right? I think this one doesn't play any role as such. If it is 3 also same answer, right?
Yes, sir.
Even if they give 0, 3, again we want a line like this. Okay. So whether it is 3 or 7 or 9 doesn't matter. Alpha should be -1. So if you can find any curve which is symmetrical with respect to y equal to x line, then for that curve, function and inverse function both are same. That's the point. Okay. 105. Okay, this is quite interesting. Simple question, but what is this? X, Y, Z is the domain. 1, 2, 3 is the range of a 1, 1 function. Only one of the three conditions is true. Then what is F inverse 1? The pre-image. Okay. It's not exactly related to inverse function. It is about 1, 1 function. Okay. So I have f of x equal to 1, f of y not equal to 1, f of z not equal to 2. Three statements. They said among these three statements, only one is true. What is that? Okay. Maybe this is true, this is false, this is false. This is false, this is true, this is true. Or, sorry, this is false. Or this is true, this is false, this is false. Okay, so whether only this is true or only this is true or only this is true, we have to ascertain. Okay. And what is our function? X, Y, Z is here. 1, 2, 3 is here. We want a 1, 1 function from here to here. Based on the first data, f of x equal to 1 is true, means x is connected to 1. No doubt about it. F of y not equal to 1 is false. Then what is correct then?
F of y is equal.
F of y must be 1. So y should be connected to 1. F of z not equal to 2 is false, means what is correct is f of z equal to 2. So z should be. So if this is really true and this is false and this is false, this is how the connection should be. That is, x should be connected to 1, y should be connected to 1, z should be connected to 2. You know it is not 1, 1. Okay. But they want it is 1, 1. So this is not 1, 1. So that means this is true and other two are false, can't be right. Coming to the second one. F of x equal to 1 is false. That means x cannot be connected to 1. X can be connected to 2 or 3. We'll come to that. Let us see this one first. F of z not equal to 2 is false, means what is correct is f of z equal to 2. So definitely z is connected to 2. F of y not equal to 1 is true, means y should be connected to 2 or 3. F of x is equal to 1 is false, means f of x should not be 1. Even x also should be connected to 2 or 3. Right? Now, can it be 1, 1 function?
No,
Yes,
If you connect y to 3, okay, because z is already connected to 2, x and y both, if any one of them is connected to 2, then it will not be 1, 1. And if both are connected to 3 also, it will not be 1, 1. So with this data, that y should be connected to 2 or 3, x should be connected to 2 or 3, any one of them, it is not possible to make a 1, 1 function. So this is also not 1. So it is not possible that only second statement is true and other two are false and still the function is 1, 1. It is not possible. Okay, coming to the last one. F of y not equal to 1 is false, means y should be connected to 1. F of z not equal to 2 is true, means z should be connected to 1 or 3. F of x equal to 1 is false, means x should be connected to 2 or 3. With all this data, is it possible to get a 1, 1 function?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
yes, sir.
Z cannot be connected to 1, so z should be connected to 3. So then automatically x should be connected to 2. So x should be connected to 2, y should be connected to 1, and z should be connected to 3 for 1, 1. Okay, once it is done, now they want pre-image of 1. What is the pre-image of 1?
Why?
Why? 5.
So f of y equal to 1 implies f inverse 1 equal to. Okay, so the overall question is they gave 3 statements. They said exactly one of them is true and the other 2 are false. Such a way that the function is 1, 1. Then what is the proper way of connecting the domain to codomain? Okay. So next we are going to do, we have 2 more topics left in this functions. One is odd and even functions, another is periodicity. With that it is done. Others are just some miscellaneous questions only.
So what will be the portion for weekend exam?
Limits portion, Chandra sir will tell. From my side only functions, total functions.
Full, sir.
Full.
Yes, sir.
We're almost completing anyway. We'll complete mains material, then we'll do advanced material by the time. Some of you should be very careful, otherwise you may not be able to write next mains exam. I'm talking about Diwali. Odd or even functions, odd function and even function. Okay. Basically, many things that you learn in first year. Okay. I did not read that clear. ODD, odd function, here even function. Anyway, both in trigonometry or even functions or inequalities, graphs, all these things. Sometimes if you look at past year mains question or advanced questions, you may find little less questions from these chapters. Doesn't mean they're of anything less important. Okay. For example, second year I'm teaching integration. Okay. There are a lot of questions in integration where if you know that function is odd or even, okay, we can do those questions very easy. So because as a part of integration they may give in the exam, so you may not find exclusively questions on this subheading. Okay. Similarly, trigonometry is used extensively in other topics. Like for example, in limits also you're using trigonometry formulas, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Somewhere compound, multiple submultiple angles or transformations, something you'll be using. So when they give a limits question where trigonometry is involved, they don't have to separately give a question from trigonometry. All right. Okay. And later on, you will find we'll do differentiation extensively for more than 1 month. Minimum we'll be doing differentiation. Okay. But at the end you may not find, because later on when you do integration or application of derivatives, you'll be using differentiation everywhere. It becomes like a basic. Okay. Anyway, what is odd and even function is very, very simple. I'll give a clear definition, but let me tell you basic definition first, that is in formal definition. F of minus x and f of x, if they're equal, you take any function, replace x with minus x. If the function doesn't change, you'll get back the same original function. Then it is called even. And if f of minus x is minus f of x, when you replace x with minus x, you will not get the original function, rather you will get negative of the original function total. That is the odd function. That's the definition. But first of all, if function is defined at 5, it should be defined at minus 5. If function is defined at 10, it should be defined at minus 10. So in IP textbook, they clearly mentioned if f is a function from a to b, and whenever x belongs to a, then minus x also should belongs to a. Whenever x is there in the domain, minus x also should be there in the domain. Okay. For such functions, if f of minus x equal to f of x for all x in the domain, for all x belongs to a, then it is even function. And f of minus x equal to minus f of x for all x belongs to a, then it is odd function. Just to give some examples, you take f of x equal to x square. You replace x with minus x. Will there be any change in the function?
No, sir.
No. Okay. So whether you take a sine x square or sine of x square or sine x whole square or simply cos x. All these functions, we replace x with minus x, no change. Even if a minus comes, square will take care. These are all called even functions. Odd functions, you can take x cubed, 1 by x, x power 5, or x itself, or only sin x, or only tan x. All these, when you replace x with minus x, you will get negative of the total. Okay. For example, minus x whole cube is minus x cube, which is minus of x, like that. Now, okay, yes, fine. If I take f of x equal to 2 power x, replace x with minus x. That is f of minus x, which is 2 power minus x. Tell me 2 power minus x is equal to 2 power x?
No, sir.
No, sir. Not equal.
Is this negative of this self?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. So they are not equal, or one is not negative of the other. So they are neither even nor odd. It is not that every function has to be even or odd. Some functions are even, some functions are odd. Some functions are not even, not odd also. Is there any function which is both even and odd?
F of x is equal to 0.
Yeah. Because you want f of minus x should be f of x also, minus f of x also. So they should be equal. From that, you'll get f of x is 0. So f of x equal to 0 is the only function which is both even and odd. It is even also, it is odd also. Instead of 0, if you take some other constant, 7. Now tell me what it is, even or odd?
Odd.
You replace x with minus x. Are you getting back the original function or negative of the original function?
Original function.
Even, sir.
Even function. F of x
Yes,
is
sir.
7, f
Even.
of minus x is also 7. It is even. So an even function you can write a constant also. Okay. You can write 5 or 0. Here also you can write only 0. So there is a particular constant function that is 0, which is both even and odd. Okay, let me give something else. F of x is equal to x cube if x is greater than or equal to 0, minus x cube if x is less than 0. Tell me whether this is even function or odd function.
Odd.
You try to find f of 5 or f of 2 and f of minus 2. Tell me what will come. F of 2 is how much? F of minus 2 is how much?
Sir, it is even function.
Two is even.
Even.
F of 2 is 8 based on this definition. F of minus 2, when you put in this, it is minus of
8.
minus 2 whole cube, which is 8.
8, yes.
Okay, so now it looks like odd, just at the outlook, but actually it is
Even.
Even function.
okay. The reason is we may think only x cube, replace x with minus x, it minus will come. But in the place of x, you cannot write minus x because this definition is acceptable only when x is positive. If somebody tells me x is greater than 0 and asks me f of minus x, that minus x should I substitute here or here?
In my
I should substitute in the second definition because x is positive, minus x is negative. If something is negative, it has to be put it here. You'll get minus of minus x whole cube, which is actually plus x cube, which is f of x. It is actually even. Okay. So sometimes we have to be careful. Okay. So these are all very simple. Replace x with minus x. You will see whether it is even or odd very clear. Sometimes. Okay. I'll give you another example. Let us say f of x equal to only x square, one function. F of x equal to only minus x square, another function. And take f of x is equal to x square if x is greater than or equal to 0, minus x square if x is less than 0. What is this function?
Even function.
Even function.
This is even. What about this one?
Odd function.
odd function.
Come on. We replace x with minus x. What will happen?
So it will
Minus
be
x square
but
only.
minus-
Minus x square only, right? This is also even,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Even.
No, sir.
If you take
Yes,
f
sir.
of minus x, what will come? Minus of minus x whole square, which is minus x square, f of x only, right? Just because minus is there, don't, okay, forget about this, forget about this. If you take only this one, if you replace x with minus x, no change, right? So it is even function, not odd.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you should not get confused with such a silly question here. Okay, right. Okay, what about this one?
Odd function.
Yeah, this.
Odd function.
Okay. So this I did not expect anybody to tell odd. I thought everybody will tell even just like that. But this one is odd. It appears like even, but it is
Sir,
odd.
the second one it's negative now, sir.
Let it be negative. Who cares? Okay. Let me ask. What is f of 2? Tell me. What is f of minus 2? Tell me in this question.
F of 2 is 4. F
Why
of 2
f
is
of 2 is 4?
minus 4, minus 4.
Okay. What is f of minus 2?
4.
Why minus 4? Why 4? What is minus 2 whole square?
4.
4 or with a minus outside. What is that?
Minus 4. Oh.
Right? Okay. So whether you take x square or 7x square or 100x square or minus 5x square minus x square, all are even only. You replace x with minus x, no change in any one of them. Am I right?
Got it, sir.
Okay. This one may appear like even. One may say this alone is even, this alone is even, but the total is not. First of all, this alone is meaningless because if something is defined only on the positive side, not even defined on the negative side, what do you mean by even? You should define both for positive. Okay, if you want here, take an example of f of 2 and f of minus 2. If you want, I can put this minus here also, not a big deal. Anywhere I can put it. When I put f of 2 here, it is minus 4 here. When I put f of minus 2 here, it is plus 4. So they are not equal. One is negative of the other. So it is odd function. Right? E power x plus e power minus x by 2. This is f of x. Tell me whether this is even or odd.
Even, sir.
Even.
If you try
Even,
to
sir.
find f of minus x, you'll get same function. E power minus x will come here. E power plus x will come here, but it is f of x only. Right? Okay, anyway, we have seen some questions which is quite obvious. Without writing much, we can say they're even or odd. Sometimes we may have to do little bit work. For example, you take f of x is equal to log of 1 plus x by 1 minus x. Before that, first of all, if I take f of x equal to 1 plus x by 1 minus x, tell me whether this function is even or odd. The first one, whether it's even or odd. What is f of minus x will come?
Odd.
1 minus x by 1 plus x.
1 minus x by 1 plus.
Odd function.
Odd, sir.
Is this negative or this?
Neither even nor odd.
This one and this one, they are not equal. And it is also, this is also not negative of this, no? Okay. So it is neither even nor odd. But coming to this function, it is odd. Let us see why. What is f of minus x will come? Log of 1 minus x by 1 plus x. Log a by b, I can write minus log b by a. I can reverse it. I will get 1 plus x by 1 minus x. Am I right?
Minus f of x.
Okay, log 1 by a formula is minus log a, or log a by b. You can write minus log b by a based on the logarithms. Okay, so now this is minus f of x. So this is an odd function. Okay, without log, it is neither even nor odd. But with the log, it is odd function. Is everybody clear about this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
It's
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Sometimes, this is also not very difficult example, but in the just outlook, it appears like neither even nor odd. Let us take log x plus root over 1 plus x square. This is my f of x. F of minus x will come log, wherever x is there, if I write minus x, 1 plus x square minus x will come. One may say this is not equal to this, correct? This is also not negative of this, but actually it is. Why? You rationalize this in the inside part. Take root 1 plus x square minus x by root 1 plus x square. So I want to multiply with root 1 plus x square plus x and root 1 plus x square plus x. Only inside one I rationalized it. What is a minus b into a plus b? A square minus b square. So I'll get log 1 plus x square minus x square by root 1 plus x square plus x. When I cancel x square, what is that we get? Log of 1 by root over 1 plus x square plus x. Log 1 by a is minus log a. Based on that, it is minus log root 1 plus x square plus x, which is actually minus f of. So just at the outlook, this appears like this is completely different from this. Not equal, not negative. But actually when you properly simplify, it is actually coming minus f of x. So are you able to see this is an odd function here?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we should not just quickly jump to conclusion. You really find f of minus x and then check whether it is really these two are equal or not, or this is negative or not. If required some rationalization or simplification or some other formula. Sometimes if somebody is not able to check like this, you can check another thing. You try to prove this sum is 0. F of x plus f of minus x. That is not very difficult. Why? What is log a plus log b?
Log AB.
Log AB.
Okay. So when I try to find a into b, I'll get 1, log 1, and log 1 is 0. Once if I get 0, f of minus x is minus f of x, so it is odd. Like that also it can be done. Is it clear?
So we can check every question and by that way, sir.
No, when log is there, I'm showing, but any question, you find f of minus x, whether it is equal to f of x or not, you can easily check. That is not a difficult thing. Okay. If that is not working out, try to find this sum. If it comes 0, odd function. If it doesn't come 0, it is definitely neither even nor odd. Okay. Anyway, and once you have 1 or 2 examples, you'll get a clarity. When log is there, what is happening? Okay. Basically, this is a reciprocal of this. This is also reciprocal of this because of that. Okay. Anyway, I did not give any notes, just randomly explaining only some points. I did not see the time. Okay, then in the evening class, 4:15 to 5:15, I'll just quickly revise this a little bit, and then we'll do some more questions on even and odd. And if time allows, we'll do on periodicity also. Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.